Hey guys, Tim Russell here from Multipart Finance, and this week I had two different meetings with two different couples who each had a scenario which I think is quite common that I wanted to unpack to let you know what my train of thought was as I helped them make their decision in their buying process. The first one was the scenario of, do I pay down my home loan or do I use that equity that I've built up to buy an investment property? So in this situation, the scenario that I'll have, it was their scenario. I won't mention their names, but they had their property worth 1.5 mil. Their loan balance is 800,000. So the common question is, I don't want to borrow against my place to buy an investment property because I don't want to get into more debt. It would make more sense to me to just simply pay down my home loan. So I show them what that looks like, and these are the presumptions I used. I presumed that property growth is about 5%. That rate was 4%. They have a P&I loan and the loan term is 25 years to go. So if we fast forward 10 years down the track, the property has increased in value to 2.4 mil, the loan balance is 570, and the equity they've built up is 1.8 mil. So great result. But let's just compare that with if they wanted to purchase an investment property. So we're going to presume, same numbers in that the value of the property is 1.5. The home loan was 800,000, but what they did is they borrowed against their home loan for 150,000. They got an extra loan for 150, and they used that to purchase an investment property for 600,000, and then they secured a loan against that investment property for 480. So they've borrowed essentially 105% of the purchase price to get this property. Same presumption that I'm going to have. In this case, though, the home loan is going to be P&I. And the investment loan is going to be interest only. So the investment loan is not going to get paid down at all. And we fast forward 10 years down the track. The same numbers hold true for the owner-occupied property, but with the investment property, that's also grown in value. So they've had two properties be invested in the market for 10 years. The property is now worth 977. The loan balance is the same, it's 630, but they've built up an extra $347,000 worth of equity. So the numbers are pretty clear in that scenario that it would make more sense for this couple to, instead of just simply paying down the loan, use that equity, buy another investment property and have both properties invest in the market, as I'll be able to grow quicker. The next scenario was a rent vesting situation. Now in this one, the clients were 38 and 34. They had a 4-year-old child and they had about 150 saved. Now they're based in Crow's Nest along the Lower North Shore. They love the area, but they know that they were in a 2-bedroom apartment. But they know that a 2-bedder in the Crow's Nest area is about 900,000 plus. So it would be too high for them to get into the market. So what are they to do? Do they just keep saving, or is it better to then change strategy and look to purchase an investment property with minimum impact on cash flow? So let's just unpack how that would look. What we did is we referred them to a buyer's agent who looked in a different state and was able to find them a 3-bedroom house. It was in the Brisbane area, I won't say the suburb, for $465. So what if we look at the cost of that, there's stamp duty, solicitor fees, etc. So it cost them $491. The loan that they got was $372, which meant that they had to put in $120,000. So I mentioned before they have 150 saved, so there's about 30 grand left over. So that's what they ended up doing. The lender that we went through with NAB, it was a variable loan, it was interest only, and the loan amount was $372. With these guys, cash flow was really important. They wanted to make sure they could maintain their lifestyle. So in this situation, the rental income was $450, the loan repayments were $299. So it was positively geared. And it was positively geared mainly because of the loan amount, and they were able to use interest-only loans, which now that APRA has removed all their restrictions, the difference between P&I and interest-only is much, much lower. So there you go. That was the solution that we had for our rent vesting couple, and also for a couple who wanted to look at whether they access equity or simply pay down the home loan. So hope that made sense. If you have any questions that you wanted to run by me, it could be your own specific scenario. Our contact details are below, and I thank you very much for your time.